Hi everybody, thank you so much for stopping by to check out this video. What I'm doing today is giving you a brief overview of how to read a tarot card psychically. So this is something that I've been doing basically almost every single day, if not every single day, since the middle of 2013. And really anybody can do this. The first thing that I'm going to tell you is that to use your psychic abilities, a lot of people think that you have to turn off your brain. That is completely and totally untrue. When you're using your psychic abilities, you are tuning in, but you're also using your brain to analyze what is coming in as you tune in. Okay, so if to read a tarot card psychically, what you do is you first take your card and you look at it, whichever card it is that you've drawn. You take that card and you take a peek at it, and you want to pay attention as you're getting that first look at that card to what it is that's jumping out at you from the card. And a card is going to have different elements, a lot of different elements. There may be a word on the card. There may be numbers on the card. There may be different colors. There may be different shapes, different characters. So there's going to be a lot of different things on the card that can jump out to you. So you want to look at, first of all, what's the first thing that jumps out to you? You want to kind of catch that impression as it hits you. So if the first thing you think is, as you're looking at the card, the first thing you catch yourself thinking is, wow, that's a lot of yellow. Okay, well that just jumped out at you. You want to hold on to that. If there's anything else that jumps out at you within that first instant of taking a peek at that card, those are going to be the elements that are giving you the message of that card. Okay, so what you need to know is every time you look at a card, the same thing isn't going to jump out at you each time. Even if it's the same card, even if it's the same day, you're going to get something else that jumps out at you the next time you look at that card. Unless you didn't figure out what the message was from the first time you looked at that card, and then it's going to repeat. If you didn't figure out that message, then it's going to jump out at you again, because that's Spirit's way of asking you to really look at this and take the message that they're trying to give you. So, but unless the message is staying the same, things that jump out at you from a card are going to be different. Now, once you have caught that first impression, once you've caught whatever it is that jumped out at you from that card, whether it was a word, whether it was a number, whether it was a color, a character, a body part, whatever it was it the flowers or some other element of the card, whatever that was, now you want to start using your analytical brain along with your psychic abilities, and you want to look at, what does this thing that jumped out at me symbolize to me? So like for me, yellow is a symbol of happiness and self-confidence. And so if yellow jumped out at me, I know that the message is going to be about happiness and self-confidence. If a coin jumped out at me, then I might know that this message is about money. So that, looking at that first impression, gives you a really good idea about what it is that the card is trying to convey to you as far as a message. Sometimes you have first impressions that have multiple things hitting you, bam, 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 bam. So if you have something that's hitting you, with several different impressions right off the bat, then you know that all of those impressions are going to work together. So for each impression, you're going to do the same process. You're going to say, okay, I'm noticing yellow. Okay, I'm noticing the number 6. Okay, I am noticing this man's face. I'm noticing the man's face on this card doesn't look very happy. So then you're going to analyze those things. You're going to say, okay, well, if yellow means happiness to me, and 6 in numerology talks about home and domestic stuff, and then this guy doesn't look too happy, this can talk about a few different things. Now you're really kicking in your psychic ability. Okay, how is this actually manifesting? Because we've got a guy that's unhappy, but we've got happiness here. We know it has to do with the home or something domestic, maybe even domestic chores around the home. So what we can see here is that maybe if you're looking at a message for you, this could be saying that you are very happy because there is a man who is in your sphere of influence who is helping with something around the home that they are not very thrilled about doing. You see how that could come out? Now, another way that this could play out, and this is why you have to put your psychic abilities, you have to sort of feel through this. Another way that this could come out is that that this man is not very happy because there are things that need to be done in the home, and getting those things done would bring him happiness. So basically this is saying that these things that need to be done are not making him happy, but if he could get them done, his happiness would come to him. Okay? So there's different ways that you can look at that. And then so you just, I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's not as hard as people make it out to be. If you look at a card and you get an association right away, you know what that means to you, okay, you know what this message is about. If you get more than one, then you've got a more specific idea of what this message is about. A lot of times, if you want to get a more detailed message, then what you want to do is you want to use more than one card. So if you want to use more than one card, then you're going to put them together in a sentence so that you get the first meaning of the card, and then you take your second card and you get the meaning of that card, and then you take your third card and you get the meaning of that card, and now you put them all together like a sentence to see what this is saying. So just for an example, a random example, I'm going to pull 3 cards, and you could do a short sentence, you could do 2 cards, or you could do a longer sentence, you could do 5 cards, but I'm just going to pull 3 for an example, and let's see what kind of sentence we come up with, just so you guys can get an idea. I'll just walk through the whole process. Okay, so what I've pulled here is the 5 of Cups card. Now to me, the 5 of Cups talks about disappointment. To me, this person looks really sad. You can't see their face, but from their body language, for me, when I look at this, I see this person as being sad. And that's the first thing that popped out to me when I was looking at this card when I first picked it off the deck. Okay, so there's some kind of disappointment or some kind of sadness that we're seeing come up here. All right, second card, we have the 3 of Swords in reverse. Now, I think it's easier to understand a card if you look at it right side up. So we're going to look at it right side up first. 3 of Swords, you can see that those swords are sitting right on top of that heart. So to me, this is heartache. This is great sadness. This is great loss. This is the end of a relationship. Maybe somebody passed away. Sometimes it's the end of a job if you really loved your job. So it's great sadness. I see this as great sadness. But remember, it came in reversed. So if it came in reverse, it doesn't mean exactly what it meant right side up. Now for me, when I see the 3 of Swords come in reverse, this tells me that there's some healing to that sadness. There's something happening that is alleviating that sadness now. Okay? So far we have 2 ideas. We have this disappointment or sadness idea, and then we have alleviation of sadness. So far we've got a sentence that's really making a lot of sense for us. Now, the next card that we have coming up is we have the Lady in reverse. So let's look at her right side up again. Now the Lady to me is somebody who is very fertile, not necessarily just physically, but this could also be fertile with ideas, great imagination. She's able to manifest those things that she wants. She's a very productive person. She doesn't have to be fertile like with a child. She can be somebody who is just very productive in the business world or in the financial world, or maybe she's very productive if she's a stay-at-home, a homemaker. She could be very productive. Okay? So this talks about somebody who is manifesting things in with feminine energy, very productive in a feminine type of way, which is more of a receptive, not a go-do type of way, but a receptive way. Okay? So when this card comes in upside down, the first thing that actually pops out to me as I look at this card is the daisies right here, down here by the frog. Now the frog is also a symbol of fertility, but he's also a symbol of singing and creativity and all of that. But he's got these daisies around him. Now to me, the daisies are a symbol of summer, of happiness, of bringing things in, of enjoying the warm weather, the good weather, the sunshine, and laughter and play. It's kind of the time to play. It's when kids have summer vacation, or at least we used to. All right, so for me, what this is actually saying, even though this is reversed, this is very much a different meaning than what I would have if it was right side up. But it's not that different. To me, this talks about, that energy of summertime type of play. Now, it doesn't have to be in summertime, but it's still that energy of just enjoying life and glorying in the beautiful days and in doing things outdoors and just having fun. So, where some people might read this, if you weren't doing what I was teaching you of looking at what pops out first and looking at what that means to you, then you might want to realize, well, this is really unproductive time. The problem is that doesn't really fit with our sentence. So this does fit with our sentence when we look at the daisies, that thing that popped out to me. So basically we have a sentence now that's talking about somebody who's sad or disappointed, and that sadness is now being alleviated by some summertime fun or some kind of fun outside, outdoors, enjoying nature. Okay? So if you want to put it in a nutshell, somebody who was disappointed and feeling sad is now feeling less sad because they've gotten outdoors, they've gotten out into the sunshine, the fresh air, and they're enjoying nature. So that's how you would make a sentence. And you can make your sentence as long or as short as you want, depending, how much detail do you want, how much detail do you need. All right? Now, reversals came up because I use reversals all the time. That's a little bit more of an advanced concept than I was planning on going into in this video, but it's here. So apparently Spirit is ready for me to hit it. So what I'm going to tell you about reversals is basically you read those the same way as you read the cards that come in right side up. You still look at what pops to you when you're reading them psychically. You look at what pops out to you. What does that mean to you? And so that's where you derive the message from. Okay, same as if it's right side up. A lot of people get tripped out about reversals because they say it means bad things, or it means the opposite of the positive attributes of that card. That is going to depend on you and how you choose to read your cards, because you set up your language with Sacred Spirit. You set up the parameters about how the cards work for you. Nobody else gets to do that. So for me, the way I have my reversals set up, my agreement with Sacred Spirit, because I believe personally that Sacred Spirit is the one showing me which cards I need to see to get the messages I need for my clients. So for me, when a reversal comes up, it doesn't mean that it's exactly the opposite necessarily. It could be, but it basically means that it's not the same as it would mean right side up. So you have to look at it with a little different perspective, and you have to kind of feel around about, well, what does it mean then? Okay? Because with that Empress in reverse, we could have looked at that as being really unproductive, unfertile. But that was not actually the meaning that it took on. It actually took on finding joy, finding happiness out in nature, which also is not the same as the Empress. The Empress herself is not about specifically finding joy or happiness in nature. She's about getting things done, manifesting those things that she wants. But finding joy, finding happiness, that's really only the first step in that. So that's why the Empress came in reverse, is it's a little bit different than what it would have been right side up. Okay? So I hope that helps you guys. If you have questions, feel free to put them under the comments. I do read the comments, and I try to respond to all the comments. So if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. And yeah, I may be doing other videos where I'm looking more specifically at some of the generalized meanings of the cards, because there are generalized meanings of the cards, and knowing those is also helpful as you're looking at what kind of psychic hits you're getting as you're looking at them in determining a more full meaning. So I think I'm going to start a series of that. It's going to be slow coming out, but I think it's important, and I'm going to be working on that too. Anyway, like I said, if you have questions, put them in the comments below. I'll try to respond to you. Everybody, thank you so much for watching this, and I'll see you guys next time around. Peace out.